Hi, today we are going to talk about func. These are functions similar to actions, but they can return something other than void. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go to Unity, and as usual, ground and avatar. As you can see, the previous actions component, I disable it, and I have funcs now. All right. So let's see what it's about. Let's see how they look. Well, the answer is very similarly to the previous one. We have actions, okay, so returns void and takes nothing, no input parameters, and that's it. We just instantiate it, and here we set it up with first and second, and we call it. So first and second like before, return void, take nothing, okay. Then we have another action that takes a boolean and int, implicitly returns void, and this is the instance, and we preload it with third, that is something that takes a boolean and int and returns void. All right, so far so good. But what if you also want something that is very similar to this, but in addition also returns a float? So that's how you do it. At the end, you add the return type, and instead of an action, you say func. Simple as that. So is like a delegate where the last parameter is used as a return type. So okay, so now we have this, and we can initialize it with fourth. As you can see, it's very similar to third, except that it returns a float and then actually returns a float. Okay, and in fact we can even get it from here when we call it, right? So we call this, and guess what? We get the return type, and then we print it. All right, very good. And so what we get, let's see, we go back to Unity. What we expect? Well, we expect to see first, second, third, fourth, and then the return type being printed, right? So first and second and third is basically like the ones in actions, right? The component, but we added a fourth one that is a func, not an action. And the input parameters it prints are the same, right? Just a cut and paste, but see that it also returns ret val. So just to refresh your memory, that's because it is a func, right? Boolean int. It's not just an action, boolean int. So it's also a float that implicitly the last parameter in the template is the return type. So you can see it here, right? We load it with fourth. That is exactly a function that returns float and takes a boolean and int. It does indeed return 314, right? The pi, approximation of pi. And when we call it, we store it in here. And then we even print it. So that's why it appears in the end, right? It appears here. All right, that's it. So that was very quick. Funcs are really just a variation on actions, generalize them a little bit to something that can return a type other than void. That's it.